my second one, I guess, because I just did the other thing. Anyway, this is going to a great start. Figured this would be easier than recording videos, so we'll see how this goes. So far I went to State of the Industry 2018 panel. Wow, my arm's gonna get really tired holding this. Anyway, State of the Industry 2018 panel, which was cool. A lot of talking about Kickstarter, a lot of talking with social media. It was not, I found it really interesting that Reddit never came up, Board Game Geek never came up, and there were no designers on the panel. It was a retail guy, social media person, marketing, advertising, like all the middlemen, but like, so they talked about Facebook, but no real mention of Twitter, no real mention of Board Game Geek, no real mention of Reddit, none of the ways that I really engage with games or designers or try to find out information. So I thought that was kind of interesting. The other panel I've been to so far is Art and Arcana, the visual history of Dungeons and Dragons. So it's two guys. What did you guys see the names? John Peterson and Kyle Newman, who were talking about their new book. That's like kind of a visual history of D&D, and it was really neat, going from like Gary Gygax's original drawings to like modern 5th edition. But it's not just an art book; it's also a visual history. So showing how things evolve over time in the advertising, in the multimedia stuff. Really interesting. Highly recommend checking out that book. So, as far as things I have going on the rest of the day, so it's about like 2:15 now. At 2:30, there's a panel called "The First Steps of Designing a Game," and you'd think I would do that panel, but you're wrong. I figured, like, I'm not going to retain any knowledge of anything useful anyway, and B, I don't know, it's kind of going to be like a weird small fish in big pond kind of feeling where everyone's going to go to that panel and everyone's going to be gaming, but I like to give myself visions of grandeur. So instead, at 3, I'm going to panel on co-op gaming. I believe, let's see, I'll double check this, but I forget who's in the panel. I should see. But anyway, like, I love co-op gaming, and I know my board gaming group is really big on co-op gaming. And there are a lot of interesting issues with co-op gaming. How do you prevent someone from like taking charge and being too alpha? How do you balance difficulty versus the fact that losing sucks? There's a lot of interesting challenges. I'm really curious about that one. So that's 3 to 4. Let's see what else we got. There's kind of thing on like therapy in gaming and tabletop, which is cool, but I'm pretty sure I went to a similar one last year and I found it a little wishy-washy. There's one about creating dynamic characters at 4, but at some point I do need to eat. And probably say hi to Burb and stuff, so I'm not sure about that. Let's see. From 7 to 8, there's an inclusivity panel about particularly focused on autism spectrum disorder and how to like be inclusive and supportive, and that sounds really cool, right up my alley. But there's also from 7 to 8 as well, there's the future of storytelling games that has one of the people behind Pandemic Legacy and Betrayal on House of the Hill. And that just really speaks to my interests. Not that like learning how to run more autism-inclusive game groups wouldn't be really useful or really relevant to my interests. But I feel like it's the kind of thing I can get resources on in other places, and it's going to be very one-on-one. Or I'm not sure if I need a one-on-one. Then there's also kind of half overlapping 7:30 to 8:30, Think Like a Game Designer. But I actually have been having this weird aversion to going to the game design panels. Like, that sounds awesome, but also everyone's going to be there, and I see that it's a live brainstorm session Q&A, and I just don't care. And then 10 to 11, CEO panel about publishing and trends and mistakes, which I actually think sounds cool because, oh, that's tomorrow, never mind. I didn't think that beginning at 10 p.m. But yeah, so I'm probably going to go to 2 more panels today. The storytelling games one and the co-op games one, just because they sound really cool to me. And they're really kind of the direction I'm curious about as someone who plays a lot of games and wants to design more games. That's about it for today. So, good day so far. I am going to try to get to the expo room to look at games at some point, but I think since this is my solo day, I'll just do all the panel stuff today in case, Burb and Stip and people don't really want to just go to like 5 million panels, because, I'm here to play games, damn it. But, yeah, so I should go like find food at some point. I had a granola bar. I should probably actually get food. So anyway, I just wanted to update y'all's. It's kind of fun, like being able to talk about this and think about it like as it's happening and as I'm doing stuff. So hope you enjoy. And found this kind of interesting, especially if you couldn't be here and want to know kind of what's going on and what my thoughts are. And until later, double bite out.